Hi everyone, this is Dave and welcome to my unboxing and first look at the DJI Osmo Mobile. So this is a new version that doesn't have a camera built in, it relies on your smartphone camera for recording video. So let's take a look inside the box for the first time. During this video, in the latter part of this video, I will show you some footage captured with this as well. So you will get to see this in action. So let's just open this up. Okay, it's up this way. And there we go. This is what it's presented like inside the box. We've also got some silica gel, which we're not going to touch, and a quick start guide as well. So this is in multiple languages, and this is going to get us up and running. Now this does rely on your smartphone to capture the video footage. If you've seen my previous videos, you'll know that I had the original DJI Osmo that had the camera on top. I didn't get on very well with that purely because it was an extra step to connect your smartphone to the camera, record the footage, take the footage off the camera and edit, etc. This one, because it uses your smartphone, when you get a new smartphone, you're going to get an upgrade, hopefully, if the camera's better, in video quality. So inside the box, we have got this little accessory pack. And this is the charging cable. So it's USB, full-size USB to a little 3.5mm jack. Looks very similar to a microphone jack. So do bear in mind you can't plug a microphone into this. This is purely for charging. We've also got the little battery, same as the original DJI Osmo. And then we've got the Osmo itself, very nicely packed. And here we go, this is what it looks like. Very, very nice indeed. Is there anything in this top section, I wonder? There is. There is a pouch for keeping everything in. I was hoping it would come with that really cool carry case that the other one came in, but this one's got a soft pouch instead of that harder case. So this is where you're going to put your smartphone to actually record. So this is like a mount. It's got a really nice sort of mechanism on it as well, whereby you turn this to extend the arms. So rather than it being one of those spring clips that you often struggle with opening and clamping onto your phone, this relies on this sort of knurled turning knob on the back to make it wider, or indeed to clamp it down onto your smartphone. And then we've got this lock as well, so we can sort of lock this so that it doesn't move. How do we do this? Oh no, I thought that was going to lock into place, but there's no sort of, the previous one, the Osmo, you could actually lock the gimbal into place so it didn't move. This one seems to move all the time. We've got a connection here so we can connect accessories, things like connecting it to a tripod, etc. Battery goes in the bottom here, and then we've got the joystick control on the front just here. We've also got a button for taking photos, recording, LED feedback, power, and then we've got the on-off slider here, and we've also got a trigger round on here for activating different modes. And then just here we have got that input which looks like a microphone input, but this is in fact for recharging the battery. Okay, so this is all set up. I've got the DJI Go app running on my iPhone 6s Plus, and you have to balance the camera before you turn the DJI Osmo Mobile on. And then once you then turn it on, it balances very, very nicely, and it compensates for your movement within reason. Of course, if you go too far, the camera is still going to tip. Now you have got some extra control here. If I just place this still, we have got control with the little joystick, so we can turn the camera left and right and up and down as well. So that's really nice. If you want to recenter the camera, you just push once on the trigger, or is it twice? It's twice. You push twice on the trigger and that recenters it. And if you want to activate the front facing camera, then you triple tap on the trigger here. So let's do a triple tap. And instead of actually turning the mobile phone round, it just activates the front camera. So now you can see me in the camera there. And it's a nice way of doing things. And another triple tap, of course, goes back to the rear facing camera. So it all works really well. There's also a tracking feature as well. Now you can see I've got my little tiny model here. I can push this target icon on the screen. I can draw a box around, and now it will keep that in the center of the frame. Doesn't matter whether I move the camera up, down, left, right, it will track that object. And the same goes for if you keep the smartphone stationary and that object's moving around, then it will actually track that as well. So if we move this around, it's actually lost it at the moment. Searching, there we go, it's found it again, and then it will actually follow this around and keep it in the frame. Very, very cool indeed. So now I'm going to switch over to the recording from the iPhone now, so you get to see the DJI Osmo Mobile in action. Okay, so now you're seeing some footage captured with the DJI Osmo Mobile, and I must admit it is very, very smooth indeed. Now at the moment I'm not holding any buttons down, so I'm just walking backwards and forwards, left to right, and it's smoothing out the footage very, very nicely. Now if I look at the box again and actually push down the trigger and keep the trigger held down, I can now move around and it will lock on to that product box and attempt to keep that in the center of the frame. And if I remove my finger from the trigger, now it acts more like you would expect a gimbal to act. And now I'm going to triple tap. Okay, so that is one of the limitations of this. You can't actually have it switch round to the front facing camera whilst it's recording. So I have to pause the recording. Okay, so I've restarted the application and the device, and now I've got it recording with the front facing camera, and I've drawn a green box around my face, so it's doing this object tracking. And as you can see, it's very, very smooth. Now I did do a quick test before recording this segment, and it won't do a full 360 degrees. It gets to around about here and then it stops, and then if you do get it to that position where it's going to stop, it then sort of goes into this sort of weird mode. There's definitely a bug there somewhere, and it will stop tracking. It goes into this sort of jerking movement. So do bear that in mind. Let's go around quite quickly and see if it keeps up with me. We're going to go round to almost the full 360 and see if we can force it to do this jerking movement again. So this is about as far as it goes, and then it stops. And then when we come back round, it seems to be okay this time. So now it's following me very nicely. Let's go down and sit down over here. And it's great because it makes it look as though, I'm going to sit on all the boxes, but it makes it look as though you've got a cameraman and the cameraman's following you around, and it's a very smooth motion. Now there are some bugs in the software. I am finding that I do get this problem like now. Now it's still showing a box around my face, but it's not tracking me. See, it's not following me around anymore. And then it sort of does this sort of jerking movement. Let's go right off screen. So now it's lost me, and then we come back on, and now it's stopped. There we go. Now it's stopped tracking, and then it seems to catch up with itself. So there are some problems, but overall it seems to work extremely well. If they iron out those small issues, I think it can be a very, very useful device. And it's so smooth. Very, very good job. So anyway, this was my brief look at the DJI Osmo Mobile. Check out the links in the video description. If you enjoyed this video, as always, hit that like button, and I'll see you in another one very soon.